This is Corey Willis with PPEI, and you're listening to the Diesel Podcast.
I'm Adam Blattenberg from Diesel World.
This is Dan, owner of Dan's Diesel Performance.
I'm Kaz from Diesel Doctor of Tennessee, and you're listening to the Diesel Podcast.
What is going on, Diesel Nation? We're excited to have you guys with us today on the #1 diesel truck podcast on iTunes. And this week is UCC week. So we're chatting with a bunch of different competitors and companies and things like that to bring you guys information you're not going to hear or see anywhere else. So in this episode, we're chatting with Shawn Ellerton, and he's a veteran of UCC. He's got a nasty 6-liter, and he's coming down from Alberta, Canada. And he's going to be telling us what's different this year, some changes he's made, how he's gotten ready for the competition, and what his goals are for it. You know, he's been through the sled pulling, drag racing, the dyno pulls, and he's got some really great goals. I know the Ford fans out there are going to love what he's doing, and so we're just going to pick his brain, get kind of an inside look at what it's like preparing for this event and traveling all the way from Alberta to Indiana to compete in it. Before we get to it, though, we want to thank a couple of our sponsors that help make the podcast possible. The first is BD Diesel Performance, and you're going to see a ton of BD products from the competitors at UCC. They're going to have a booth there. They're part of the Alligator Performance live build with their 68 RFE going in the 6.7 Cummins. And if you're looking to upgrade your Cummins Duramax or Powerstroke, it doesn't have to just be for racing. It could be for towing, daily driving, getting some of the features in the older trucks that the new ones have, lowering EGTs, lowering transmission temperatures. You got to go to dieselperformance.com, check out what they have going on. You can search by year, make, model, and browse everything that they have. And if you have any questions, just give them a call or send them an email. They're really knowledgeable. They're easy to chat with. They love trucks, so you'll enjoy chatting with those guys, getting your truck running the way that you want. And we also want to thank Amsoil. And Amsoil products are going to be all over UCC in the race trucks, but a lot of the tow trucks. They're towing these things there. People that are traveling from out of state, they've got a ton of different products for filtration, for oil, whether it's the engine, differentials, transmission fluid, tons of things like that. So make sure you check out Amsoil. If you got any questions, hit those guys up. They can make sure you get the right products for your application. All right, let's get to the podcast with Shawn Ellerton and chatting about his 6-liter and the UCC competition. Shawn, welcome back to the Diesel Podcast. It's been a few years since we've chatted with you. I think it was right around the same time with competing at UCC, and you've been busy getting the truck ready and heading down to Indiana.
Yeah, it's been a busy week here. We finally got her fired up this morning and fired it up, loaded it in the trailer, and we got a 40-hour drive ahead of us, so she's probably going to drive through the night tonight, get a room tomorrow night, and then get there Thursday afternoon and get her polished for Friday morning.
We wanted to ask you what it's been like, say the last week or two, kind of getting ready. Has it just been crazy, or do you have a system in place to get everything going?
It's been rather busy. We had a busy winter up here with the oil sands, so I've been out of town working in camp for basically 24 days on, 4 days off for the last 3-4 months. So I really haven't had time to invest much quality time in the truck. I had a couple friends work on the truck a little bit here and there for me, so I had a full week off before UCC, and so we crammed everything again for the 4th year in 1 week before we left. So, but I think this year every year we do a little bit more each year, and this year I think we're just about there for finish stripping the truck and what we want to add and stuff. So it came together really well this year.
What are some, not to give away your secrets or anything, but were there any big changes or things you're really excited about the truck that's a little different than the other ones, maybe with the chassis or fueling or turbos or the engine, anything like that?
The biggest change this year that's going to stand out when anybody looks at the truck is Warren diesel injection. Jesse did a complete standalone harness for these 6-liter engines. So we were able to rip out the dash, the cluster, the console, ABS module, everything. Every last inch of Ford wiring was able to be ripped out of this truck, and now it's just a very simple engine harness to some relays and a push button start in the cab. So able to pull out 12 miles of wiring, and we got just what's required in the truck now. So I think that's been the biggest hurdle, is always the aftermarket stuff and trying to leave us, you had to leave the cluster before, you had to leave all the dash in, and now we're able to get rid of all that stuff. It there's just so much more room, and it's simple. It's simplified, I guess. That was the biggest thing we did this year. Just simplified everything. Got rid of absolutely everything that was not required, and simplified it. And it shows because the truck's so much cleaner this year.
And with the transmission, I don't remember from before, but were you running a 4R100 or still the 5R110?
Still rocking the 5R110. It'll probably be the last year for it. Now that like I said, each year we've been slowly making changes and upgrading, and now I think next year is going to be this will probably be the last year of the 5R now.
I chatted with a few of the other competitors, and one of the things they've been talking about is the challenge of packing the trailer and trying to think of everything you might need. But you're coming from Alberta, so it's a trek. Was that really hard for you as well, just to think what could break, what do I need, what are my spares, all those sorts of things?
Because we crammed all the work into this last week, it was pretty simple to pack the trailer this morning because all the tools were on the workbench, and whatever parts we used on the truck, everything was still on the workbench. So it was pretty easy. We just went over to the workbench, got a couple of big Rubbermaid containers, and just everything got dumped into the boxes, and then went there. That's what we needed to put the truck together, so that's what we need to work on the truck. And it just threw it, just tossed her in the trailer. And I said, trailer was empty this morning, and 2 hours later, truck was in it, everything, sled pulling gear, everything was in it. It was ready to go. So I wish we would have had more time, because, yes, packing the trailer, before the previous years, I always spent more, a whole day packing the trailer, and we always end up bringing way too much. So I think this year, actually, we probably got more of just what we need and not what we might possibly need, I guess. So, and even at that, the trailer, a 40-foot trailer, and it's full.
Now, you're a veteran of UCC, so you've been through all the different, the dyno, the sled pull, the drag racing. What are your goals this year with it? What would you want to achieve to define it as a success for UCC 2019?
For myself, the team, I think on the dyno, if we could do somewhere between 15 to 1600 on the dyno, I'm going to be really excited with that. The drag racing 590. Eventually, I'd like to have the truck set up to run the 590 class. So if we can get the truck down to around a 590 in the 8th mile, I'm going to be very happy with that. If we get lucky, a couple guys, you don't want to see the competitors break. Don't get me wrong, but if a couple guys have a couple unfortunate starts or something like that, and we place a little higher in the ladder, honestly, it would be nice to go a couple rounds with the old 6-liter. And sled pull, well, if we can sled pull to mid pack with the rest of the guys, overall it'll be a win in our books.
I think you got a pretty big fan base out there. Seeing on social media and the people talking and everything. One, you got a 6-liter. Two, you're coming down from Canada, and I think it's a challenge because of the distance, and then also from what I've seen from some of my friends up there, it's still snow and the weather's not necessarily that great, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're on a racetrack and sled pulling and drag racing and everything else. So there's not a lot of prep time, I guess you could say, beforehand. It's just trusting the parts, the people, and kind of the system you have in place, and then going out there and competing.
Yeah, we had early last week, the temperatures were in the probably mid 60s Fahrenheit, so it was decent. The roads were dry, and then on Friday she dropped to 30, and we had a whiteout blizzard for the entire weekend. So I think that took a lot of wind out of our sails to try to hurry up and get it done to get some seat time on the street or anything, but because there's 6 inches of snow that fell on Friday night, so we weren't going anywhere.
I know from just chatting with you guys and following racing and everything like that, there's a lot of people that help make this happen. And so I wanted to ask you, who are some companies, some people that have really helped you with this truck, get it ready and just to prepare for this and go out there and perform the way that you want?
First and foremost has got to be BD Diesel. The support that they've showed our team for the last couple of years has been outstanding. Any issues we've had with the turbos or anything like that, and It's been my fault, like I ran low on oil pressure, and I heard the turbo, sent it back, and they said, no problem, Shawn, we'll take care of it. You just make sure you had our dyno day. And so they've been absolutely, they're phenomenal to deal with. It's Georgina there and Brian they've treated us well. They've helped us out. NAPC with the powertrain, like the transmission. I mean, we're still rocking the 5R, and as long as it keeps shifting for me, we might have reached the limit for that, but they've been fantastic. And Innovative Diesel's done all the tuning, always has been. So all the little changes I've done, you can give Eric a call anytime, and he's ready and willing to help out. And Travis and Colin, James, just my three buddies for at home here, putting the truck together, working on it when I was at work. We packed a lot of hours in this last week now, so we're all coming out there. We're going to have a great time. We're going to pick up a case of some Gibsons at the border, and we looking forward to just parking the trucks and cracking a bottle and sitting there and just taking a deep breath and relax.
I remember we chatted about Gibsons 3 or 4 years ago, and it's it's one of those. It's so hard to get here, but yeah, it's definitely one of the nicer beverages that I've ever had the enjoyment of partaking in. So I'm sure some other people will be crowding around your trailer and everything and wanting to get some. But
they usually do.
It was really cool to chat with you again, Shawn, and I'm excited to see out there competing, seeing what the truck does, and using your experience and everything that you have going for you out there. So we'll be rooting for you, be watching, and can't wait to see how you do.
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much, sir.
Don't forget, Diesel fans, make sure and head on over to dieselperformance.com. Check out what BD Diesel has for your tow truck, daily driver, or your race truck. And also Amsoil. They've got the fluids to keep your daily driver, your tow truck, or your full-on UCC race truck going. Till next time, keep the shiny side up.